Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another Kicking It session. And today, another Webbot member, Clayton Keefer. He wanted to sign up and just kind of give me his overall of 2018, where we're going in 2019. I'm just giving the individuals the opportunity to do so as we close out 2018. So here we go. Clayton Keefer, what's going on, brother?
Hey, CB, good to be with you. Appreciate the opportunity, and big shout out to everybody in the Webbot chat rooms.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I guess we can kind of start off with your background. How long you've been in cryptos. I saw that you've been in, I would consider you OG too. You're OG in the crypto game, been in it since 2015, but kind of give me a little background pre-cryptos, and then kind of tell us how you got into cryptos and what was that event, what was that day, that person, that thing that really convinced you to jump head first into this crypto game.
You know, they're so fast paced, you know, a month feels like a decade sometimes with all the news. But yeah, to your point, been in cryptos since late 2015, about Q4. You know, prior to that, been in the banking space for about 18 years now, really focused in treasury management. So that's like payables and receivables, technology and ops, close to fintechs over the past decade, AMX, High Radius, FIS, really been into investments my whole life. You know, really started out in investments with Stansberry Research. You might have heard of them.
I've heard of Stansberry. Yeah.
They actually just got into the crypto space, you know, I think last year.
They always had those compelling commercials on Bloomberg Radio and stuff.
Yeah,
back in the day.
You're right. Yeah, what Porter? Yeah, I think that's Porter Stansberry. He's done a great job over there. It's cool stuff. But yeah, they just got into it in I think 2017, which I thought was a little late.
Sure.
You know, because they're usually kind of cutting edge. But yeah, since 2015, and big metals guy too, physicals and silver. So I can appreciate the in-hand physical asset.
Sure.
But yeah, I got in late 2015. And I actually was listening to Bix Weir. So, you know, I know you kick it with Bix sometimes. You guys have some great conversations that go back and forth. But I was listening to his podcasts and you know, YouTubes, and I was like, I'm going to turn. If he keeps talking about crypto one more time, I'm going to turn this thing off. You know, I want to hear the metals update. And you know, reflecting back, I really should have started listening a little bit sooner. But yeah, Bix got me in the space. And, you know, ever since Q4 2015, I've been hooked to see the value proposition and all that good stuff. So at a high level, that's my background on me and really how I got into the crypto space. And shortly after getting connected with Bix, really found out your YouTube and been watching you on a daily basis since then too.
So tell me, Clayton, since you've been in it for a decent amount of time, what do you see that's different today than it was when you initially got into cryptos?
Yeah, good point. Good point. Outside of the price, you know, over the past year, you know, for me, it's the FUD. You know, I used to joke around to myself and you know, some folks that I talk to, you know, hey, what's the FUD meter today? You know, where are we at? Right. You know, prices were higher, you know, earlier in the year. Now they're lower. Yeah, the FUD just doesn't even seem like it's that prominent anymore. And maybe it's because I just got used to it and I'm a little you know, weathered through the storm. But I also see, you know, since way back in 2015, you know, there's been a lot more maturity in projects, I think. You know, the day of the ICO is gone, right? There's no more of that craze going on anymore. You know, there's a lot more exchanges, you know, from my perspective, a lot more options. You know, really it was, for me anyway, just Coinbase. You know, and now there's just a tremendous amount more options. It's nice to see too some, you know, more mainstream topics on it. I still think, you know, it's a bit of, you know, taboo to talk about crypto in the corporate space. You know, unless you're talking blockchain application through something like Hyperledger, you know, if you say crypto or you know, Bitcoin, it's almost like it's, you know, you're doing something negative or something bad. So that still seems to be in place, but I'm seeing a lot more exchanges up, a lot more established brands and products, which is pretty cool. You know what Veritasium's doing is just off the charts. Reggie's just man, he's on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I see a level of maturity that I haven't seen or didn't see in 2015.
So when you say maturity, I'm assuming in the from a technical standpoint, not from a community standpoint. I feel like we've taken a step backwards when it comes to community, you know, all the bickering and stuff going on nowadays, and it really, I think, hit its peak in 2017. But I think I can agree with you that maturity wise, from a tech perspective, and, you know, just integration is definitely better than it was in 15. Now in 15, about what price did you get in Bitcoin in 2015? Because it was kind of stagnant there. That was kind of in the middle of the bear market from 14. Do you recall the price you got into to Bitcoin?
Yeah, it was in the 700 to 900 range.
Okay.
You know, so it was, you know, making a bit of a comeback, but not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you think at that point, what were your expectations? Because now it's easy to say hindsight, you know, $700 Bitcoin, boy, I would have bought a whole bunch more and just hodled to where we are today. But people fail to realize that is a hindsight, kind of reflective type of thought process, right?
You're right on the money, CB. You know, I wasn't, you know, at that point in time getting in to be, you know, a hodler.
Right.
It's like, hey, you know, this is a cool asset class. This is cutting edge. I'm really starting to see the value proposition of doing peer-to-peer transactions, people becoming their own bank.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I want to be involved in this, right? I want to, you know, I want to make my 700 go to 1400, you know, et cetera. So I was kind of in it more short term.
Yeah.
Trying to understand.
That's real. No, that's real. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no doubt. And that quickly changed. You know, as soon as I saw like the explosive, you know, bull runs that you can have that could just take over, and I educated myself a bit more on the overall space, you know, some of the challenges that it addressed, you know, the actual mining of the actual coins,
mm-hmm.
and how that takes place, and how the blockchain, you know, is essentially an irrefutable ledger.
Right.
You know, then I don't know what time it was. I really transitioned from, hey, I'm gonna be the short-term investor type folk to make a couple extra bucks for, you know, for the family, to essentially like, hey, this is something I want to stack up in my portfolio. And had I known back then, I would have backed up my truck, my neighbor's truck, and any truck I could have got my hands on, you know?
Right. Definitely. So with that being said, you know, you said you were a precious metals guy. I'm sure because you were a precious metals guy, you probably got peers that were precious metals people as well. Did they ever make that transition as well to cryptos? At least start buying, not saying they left precious metals, but
yeah, you know, I'd say of the individuals that I know, you know, friends and associates, most of them have. It was a slow process, you know, to transition and kind of understand. You know, you really do still hold an asset with your private key.
Absolutely.
It's just not, you know, something that you can put in your pocket. Like, I guess you could on a paper wallet, but I don't think people make that or draw that conclusion right away. They gotta they got to go through their own process to try and grasp the technology and get to it. But yeah, from the individuals I'm with, yeah, most of them do. There's always those one or two folks that just like, yeah, oh yeah, Bitcoin's gonna die. You know, you really have no asset. You know, it's just air. You can't touch it. You can't feel it. And yeah, I think they'll eventually come around when the price is just astronomical.
Yep,
probably a little too late, but hey, you can always talk to them.
I told Crypto Queen that in our talk earlier, that, you know, I asked her, you know, of the people that, you know, your friends, family, and associates, did you get them into cryptos in 2017? And, you know, that was one of the things I was saying, like, I feel bad, because people were starting to approach me. Now, for 5 years, man, I have been begging people to get into cryptos, right? Begging them. They wouldn't do it. You know, they kind of blew it off. Oh, I'll do it later, or I'll look into it, and we'll have to sit down. But in 2017, everyone was coming to me. And I'm like, hey, I mean, yeah, go ahead, get you some if you want. You know, it's and you know, people were motivated by the price versus motivated by the technology, right?
Right.
And that's the key difference. But at any rate, I was asking her, how does she feel, and how are people reacting now that those individuals that she got in 2017, how is their relationship? So did you get anyone in 17, and how are they feeling about cryptos right now, if you did?
I did. I absolutely did. I got some in before, you know, friends and associates in before, but I did get a couple, you know, good friends in 2017. And, you know, I get the notorious text messages, man. What's going on with my Litecoin? Hey, 125 was a great deal. Now it's
right.
$21.
Right.
You know, and that's where I go. And obviously not financial advice. This is just, you know, amongst friends. But hey, cost dollar average in. You know, bring down your price and stack some more. But yeah, no, I get a lot of you know, jokes on that. But it's funny, after I've talked to those individuals, you know, and just had an honest conversation, like, all right, well, do you still think it's a good investment? Do you still think over time that the economy is going to a token-based economy, that the fiat monetary system at some point, what are we going on, 75 years, I think, here in the States? Maybe it's a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that will at some point have to address itself? You start to have that conversation at a more
Clayton,
level.
if you include what happened with in 71 when Nixon fully took us off, I guess you can kind of think of that as the kind of the reset, and then we go from there. But even from 70, that's what, 40 plus, almost 50 years, right?
Right.
So
yeah, and I think the longest,
it's due.
The longest, I forget the longest fiat currency system, but I want to say it was close to 50 years, give or take. So yeah, to your point, we're approaching that point in time. Yeah, so I think once you have those conversations and the individuals who actually chose to purchase Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, whatever digital asset they chose, I don't think they're sweating any of the prices right now, outside of getting a good job in at me for getting them in at a higher price than today.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. So do you think this last crypto bear period that we've had since the beginning of 2018, how long? I think, you know, to me, and I was telling Crypto Queen this, I feel like it's different this time as far as how many people it affected and how much money was lost. What are your thoughts about those individuals coming back? Will they ever come back? Or will they come back when we're at new all-time highs? $40,000-$50,000 Bitcoin, then they'll be back trying to buy.
Yeah, probably be trying back to buy. I think it's human nature, right? I do think it's human nature, but you just on that topic, you're waking up the past couple days, you know, and it's even happened to me too. Like, I've just been in the whole, mindset of, hey, all right, let's use this down period as an opportunity to acquire more,
Mm-hmm.
cost dollar average, all that fun stuff. And so, I woke up the past couple of days myself, and I was like, what, the market's up? I was kind of bummed out about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of ironic. I was like, wait a second here. I wasn't quite ready for this. I wanted to,
You
get
never
a couple
are.
more of this.
Yeah, you never are.
Yep.
You never are.
Get into the mindset that we could potentially be back to, some prices starting to go up pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it. I think it's great, because I think a lot of the sediment has been destroyed, and that can take some time to heal and repair. But do I think we're in for an all-time low right now? Oh, man, 50% of me says yes, 50% of me says, hey, after the new year, maybe we could retest some lows, maybe even go a little bit lower, and then really kick it off in 2019 in Q2.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at Clif's interview maybe about 2 weeks ago, where he really went into he put up a nice picture and a graph how basically bear market would continue from where we're at right now into, I think it was well into Q2 of 2019 before taking off. So I'm 50-50, but I'm trying personally for myself just to be ready either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Dollar cost average in and dollar cost average out. That's my philosophy as a trader. That's what I've always done. Well, not always, but over time and learning, that's what I've developed. So speaking of Clif High, let's talk about that topic. Big topic, big controversy going on as far as, especially in the community that follows Clif. For crypto, right? I used to follow Clif well before crypto, but he gained a lot of followers, circa, the whole Webbot, bare naked wealth reports, right? And you got a lot of angry people. What are your thoughts about the whole situation of Clif essentially being wrong the whole year, and how he switched his position, as far as now he thinks that cryptos will head lower?
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that statement. So, yeah, it's a different viewpoint. We haven't heard this coming out from the bare naked wealth reports and the web bots. So, a lot of people I believe are having challenges digesting that,
mm-hmm.
and I think it's because they didn't understand what the reports were in the first place.
Okay.
I also think that they didn't use the reports as one tool in the toolbox.
There you go. Yes.
To help apply it and utilize that tool when making personal decisions with what to do with your digital
mm-hmm.
assets.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those two things combined really have people getting cranky.
Yep.
And when you got that, there's nobody to blame but yourself for that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's great information. There's Clif has that methodology he applies to it with the temporal markers and how the data is used. And he even calls out in the report like, hey, this is not financial advice. Do not use this information to make decisions with your cryptocurrencies, but people don't listen. So, yeah.
Well, I think he's going to have to do that, make that statement just to cover his ass,
Sure.
Really. But I agree with that one point you said, that Webbot bare naked wealth report is one tool in your war chest that people should have utilize. And hindsight is 2020. Many people were new to investing. Many people were just new to cryptocurrency, so they solely relied on Clif's reports. And when they stopped being right, they just continue to rely on that without any other. So I think the universe is works in that way. I think people will come out of this, if they stay around, with a better strategy to use Clif's work as one source of maybe a few. And I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, no doubt. And you know what? When his report was spot on, going back to before this year, it was nothing short of amazing. It was like having a book that predicted the future. It was totally awesome. It was unbelievable. And I'm sure he'll tweak the algo, tweak the code, and it'll be back in track. But I think it was 3 clips from the Webbot room said, like, hey, treat that just like you would any other tool, in terms of, all right, let's see it get back on track. Let's see it prove itself in a number of situations before you go back to using it as something that could be depended on.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and then even then, it's just one stream,
Right. And it's no shade at Clif. That's the thing that people
absolutely
fail to realize, that is not any shade thrown at Clif. If the data is wrong, the data is wrong. You got to wait until he either tweaks things, or, I even had theories, nothing to back this, but maybe the opposition, did an anti-web bot to really throw things off. We don't know, but something happened, because for him to go from a high clip rate, a hit rate of, I would say, upwards of 80% in 2017,
yep,
to just about 0, something happened, man. I don't know what. So yeah, I agree with you. I was talking to Crypto Queen about this as well. You're probably going to laugh at this. You've been in the room for quite some time as well. Compare the sentiment and the vibe, the energy in the Webbot rooms today to last year, 2017.
Yeah, it's like everybody has, like, 2017 was the party. It was an epic party. Everybody had a blast. And 2018 was like 8 a.m. the next morning.
Right.
Everybody's just like, oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's right.
Everybody's a little bummed out. But everybody's still, I think everybody's still contributing some really good stuff in that room. And there's a lot of really good value added. Moms out there always keeping everybody grounded in the forums. So that's cool. It's a really good group of folks you got gathered together. And on a personal note, it's nice to be able to talk cryptocurrency with like-minded individuals.
Right. Absolutely. I remember, in 17, man, if you missed just like 6 hours, or just say 12 hours, half a day of looking at the Webbot room, you missed maybe 500 messages back in 2017. It was crazy. It was crazy back then.
Now it's only a handful.
It's only a handful.
Some funny gif of a guy
taking
a terrible fall.
Right. So Clayton, tell us, you also have a tech startup, or a blockchain business, I should call it. And I love to see that, because I tell people, if you want to be successful in cryptos as it matures, you got to get away from just speculating on coins and tokens. You need to establish a business in this industry. You've done that. Tell us a little bit about your company and what it's all about. It's bestwalletbitcoin.com. So kind of tell us about that, Clayton.
Yeah, thanks, TB. I appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, it's really about, individuals, having their private keys, becoming their own bank, which I think was really on, for Bitcoin with the creation, was the concept, right? It's about people becoming their own bank, making sure they have their assets in their own possession. And there's a project going on right now, about the proof of keys. You talked about it, CB as well. And at bestwalletbitcoin.com, you can get educated, find out about the best digital vaults, the best hardware wallets that are out there. And if you don't have one, it's something you might want to go check out. If you got them, great. You understand what value that provides. And I still talk to a lot of folks that they got a significant amount of cryptocurrency, even at today's prices, just sitting on exchanges, or, in maybe just an online wallet. And I'm not the type of individual that likes to have that type of risk, because a lot of bad things could potentially happen. But when you get that hardware wallet, you get that digital vault, and you can check them all out at bestwalletbitcoin.com. You really mitigate that risk, and you secure your digital assets for you and your family for futures to come. So that's really what it's all about. And if there's anybody out there interested in those hardware devices, do check out bestwalletbitcoin.com.
Yeah, I've got the site up now. Very nice site. So you've got the Model T, you've got the Trezor 1, and a few others as well. So Ledger Nano S, great. Support this guy, guys. If you're looking to, he's an authorized dealer. So if you're looking to, buy some of these hardware wallets for friends and families for the holidays, why not support someone from the Webbot room in doing so? So yeah, that's great, man. Definitely thank you for sharing that. So what are your thoughts for 2019, man? It's do you think ETF is going to be passed? If so, give us your outcome, or if not, kind of let us know what do you think that's going to do to Bitcoin and its price.
I think the answer is yes, it will be, no doubt about that. But I think the timing will be at what's best suited for the individuals who have the authority to make that decision. And I got to be honest, I don't know if they even know the best timing right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think things are so volatile that, or will become so volatile that timing could come week to week. Hey, do we need an extra week to get infrastructure and things ready for this to go a little bit more mainstream, or do we accelerate it because we need to control things more? So I think the short answer is yes, but I'm a bit uncertain on the timing.
So I agree with you. The thing with me though, they've delayed it once again, and now they only have till February 27th, I believe, of 2019 to make a decision. So this will be the final chance for them to make a decision before I think everything kind of resets, and they have to, I don't know how long the waiting period is if they do the final denial. Hey, I don't know. I think this one is a huge one because this is the only one that actually settles in Bitcoin. So therefore, it's going to have a direct correlation and impact on spot price of Bitcoin on a daily basis. So, I don't know. I think they've been scared away with this volatility that we've had towards the tail end of 2008, man. But it's coming. I just don't know, as you've stated, when.
Yeah, and I'm glad you pointed that out, CB. I'm really pumped to see things settling in the actual coin.
Yeah.
And not just a derivative of it. I mean, the whole, the current stock market, of course, everything's a derivative. You can't actually get the real
you can't even
asset.
really get the real equity stock.
Yeah.
It's rehypothecated a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope we can really get away from that. Let's get into.
That's why I think. Sorry to cut you off, Clayton. That's why I think STOs are going to be great for this space, because now it literally is on the blockchain. You can't have any rehypothecation of any of these shares of companies. That's going to be big, man, and a lot of I think a lot of companies are going to move to that model going forward from 2019 and beyond.
Yeah, right there with you, CB. That's awesome, and that's what it's going to make. It's going to make the companies better. It's going to make the markets better. I think it's going to help the business model. Capitalism as a whole. I think that's just a really good way to get back to doing business.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. So, any final words for the viewers, all the individuals watching from the Webbot room? Any final words for us, and what are you most hopeful for going forward?
Yeah, just a couple things there. I'm hopeful that everybody's private keys stay private, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's some good luck for everybody. you know, the transition to the tokenized economy, I hope that is as smooth as possible. You know, some days I think, all right, hey, it's going to be a real smooth. Things should be go okay. Certainly, we'll have bumps in the road. And then other days, you know, you see the news headlines and you're like, wow, I don't know if this is going to be a smooth or a hard landing at all. So, you know, my hope is that as we go into 2019, 2020 and beyond, that, you know, things go smooth for us, you know, from a financial perspective. And, you know, I think when you say finance moving forward, that's really going to equal cryptocurrency.
Mm-hmm.
So for 2019, I'm excited to get more people involved in the space. I'm also excited for, you know, what a lot of the projects have on the horizon. You know, Veritasium, really excited for that, and what Reggie's doing with being able to get physical gold delivery with your Vericoins.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That guy's working hard. He's really working hard, especially over in the continent of Africa. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, no doubt. And another project I'm excited for in 2019 would be the V-Chain.
Okay.
I think that used to be, I think it's VET now, used to be VEN or vice versa. So once it launched its own blockchain, it went from the ERC20 to its own chain.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they have huge backings, partnerships. BMW,
nice.
The Renault Group, Oxford University, and Michigan State.
Wow.
They got a lot of good stuff. Yeah, they're doing logistics, healthcare, and automotive. Just some of their target spaces. So I'm pretty excited for that project. Yeah, there's a couple projects I like in 2019 that I really don't like myself for liking, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ripple, XRP. Mm-hmm. I think that's, you know, it's got a lot of big inroads to existing financial institutions. So
I think it's going to end up being listed or categorized as a security. I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. So cool, man. Well, again, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on with me, Clayton. Really, really interesting conversation. And if I definitely do this again, I hope to have you on, brother.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Would love to do it. And really cool concept. Appreciate the opportunity to chat with you, CB. And hey, big thanks for what you do on a daily basis, bringing the entertainment, bringing the news to everybody. Can't thank you enough. It's awesome. And
absolutely, absolutely. Clayton Keefer from the Webbot chat room. He also has a website, guys, bestwalletbitcoin.com. Check it out if you guys need some hardware wallets. He's an authorized dealer there. It's your boy Crypto Blood, and thanks for checking in this Kicking It session with me and Clayton. I'm out. Holla.